Adventurous kids, explore with education and learning what a wild life is in the Everglades. I want to explore the Museum of Discovering Science. What plants do butterflies like? I want to know about Key West. Adventurous kids, learning and fun. Adventurous kids!
Today we're going to
tell you about Brown versus the Board of Education of Topeka.
In the early 1950s, America was a nation divided not just by politics or economy, but by race. Public schools, especially in the South, were segregated by law. Segregation means keeping black people and white people separate. Black and white children were required to attend separate schools under the doctrine of separate but equal, established by the 1896 Supreme Court case Plessy versus Ferguson. But in reality, the schools for black children were vastly inferior, lacking in resources, funding, and facilities. The time had come for change, and that change would begin in Topeka, Kansas.
In 1951, Oliver Brown, a black father and welder from Topeka, Kansas, attempted to enroll his daughter, Linda, in an all-white elementary school just a few blocks from their home. But just because she was African American, the district said she had to go to a black school much farther away. When she was denied entry into an all-white school, the Browns and 12 other parents joined a class action lawsuit organized by the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP, which had been carefully building cases across the country to challenge school segregation. Brown's name was listed first among the plaintiffs, giving the case its now famous title, Brown versus the Board of Education of Topeka.
The case made its way through the courts and was eventually combined with similar cases from South Carolina, Virginia, Delaware, and Washington, D.C. That's right, the home of the president. On May 17, 1954, in a landmark unanimous decision, the U.S. Supreme Court declared that racial segregation in public schools was unconstitutional. Also made segregation illegal everywhere else too. The Supreme Court ruled unanimously, 9-0, in favor of the students. In his opinion, Chief Justice Earl Warren wrote that separate educational facilities are inherently unequal, effectively overturning Plessy v. Ferguson.
The Brown decision marked a turning point in American history. It gave legal and moral momentum to the civil rights movement and set the stage for further desegregation efforts. However, the ruling faced fierce resistance in many states. Integration was delayed or obstructed through legal loopholes, political maneuvering, and even violence. It would take years and federal intervention for many schools to truly integrate.
A later case, commonly referred to as Brown v. Board of Education of Topeka II, was decided on May 31st, 1955. It addressed what should be done to implement the decision in the first Brown case. In his opinion, for the court, Warren ordered the district courts and local school authorities to take appropriate steps to integrate their public schools with all deliberate speed. Public schools in southern states, however, remained almost completely segregated until the late 1960s.
Nonetheless, Brown versus the Board of Education of Topeka remains one of the most significant Supreme Court cases in American history. It affirmed the principle that all children, regardless of race, deserve equal access to education. More than a legal case, it was a statement about the kind of nation America aspired to be, one where justice and equality are not just ideals, but rights guaranteed to every citizen.
Thanks for watching.
This episode of Adventurous Kids.
Blessed be. What did you learn today?
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous Kids.
What was the most interesting fact?
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous